Hello everyone and welcome back to some more Aston Martin Road to Glory here today. This one is the Mexican Grand Prix, the third from last race of the season, round number 20, and we're looking to hopefully have another strong race. Now, the last round, USA, go check it out, link in the top right. I became officially the new Minister of Defence, and you see a bit of a Giga Aston Martin in that one, so go check it out. But yeah, here we are, back for more, and we're going to try and crack on here at Mexico. If you're going to enjoy this one, leave a like and subscribe for more, as we have a marketing department event yet again. Now, this follows on from the last episode, in which we basically chose to not do extra merch, so we took a hit on the driver acclaim. After that, we had a few points saved up, so we're going to continue protecting upgrades, and we should be able to cover off and efficiently wrap up the aerodynamic side of the protection. So as you can see, that's the last one, and we're now fully covered off. So with that, we can now move into the chassis, and we've got just enough points to purchase the engine cover. So we're getting there. 8 upgrades remain to be covered, which hopefully we'll get done over the next 2 races. I think before Abu Dhabi we can get that done, but we'll see. It depends how many points we can score, I'd say, after and during Brazil, which is the next race, of course, in a sprint race. In the meantime, background, you can see here we've got Mercedes as the new best team. We're still at the very bottom, and to be fair, it means very little, because in the last race we was also at the bottom, and we actually had very strong pace at the Circuit of the Americas, and we could have had a better result than what we did. We finished P9 with some brilliant defensive driving, but we could have done better. For now though, we get practice out of the way, we get a perfect score, and we get a pretty decent look in terms of our pace around here. We had a very strong second lap. Tyre wear was literally perfect, 1%, following the line graph all the way down. We scored a pretty decent haul of points, and that brings our total to about 1,600. Hopefully we'll score a couple more over the rest of the weekend to push that towards maybe 2k. And yeah, we'll try and protect some more upgrades at the start of the next episode before Brazil. Also, a bunch of discounts, which will be very, very useful next season once we get into the off season and look to make some upgrades. You can see we also leveled up on driver acclaim, but we're now going to move to qualifying. And Kota was extremely popular in terms of, you know, being a good track for the performance of the car, and we actually had a very good, I'd say, overall pace. So I think, based off practice, I've also got some decent pace here, and I think we can challenge. So yeah, we're going to get to work, and we're going to kick things off with our first time lap here, and hopefully we can have some decent pace as we make our way at the final corner.
Are you all right? Engine off, engine off.
And that was not part of the script. A rare crash in qualifying, shades of Bottas in 2019, and we've binned it. Wow. That changes everything. I thought I had genuine Q2 pace, but I guess we'll never know, as we're out. And we're out with Russell and Bottas, along with Latifi and Stroll. So, oh boy, this is going to be a big mountain to climb in the race. I think, though, it's not impossible. I think we've got a good car, and I just hope we can deliver in terms of race pace. So, yeah, this is it then. We're going to have to basically clutch up. And in many ways, like Kota, we're going to have to try and deliver again. So, yeah, guys, qualifying done. Not the way I want it to go. We're now going to try and fix that in the race.
It's time then for the Mexico City Grand Prix, a race which gave Honda their first ever victory in 1965. American Richard Ginter winning from 3rd on the grid, and what of the Honda-powered cars this year? Red Bull have been strong here in recent seasons. Can they keep that record going today? At 2,285 metres above sea level, the thin air of the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez poses a unique challenge, not just to a driver's skill, but to the efficiency of their engines as well. 17 corners then make a lap of this 2.6-mile circuit, expecting incredible speeds in excess of 220 miles per hour and overtaking into the braking zones of turns 1 and turn 4. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Fantastic effort from Charles Leclerc yesterday, and it's put him on pole, and Max Verstappen lines up alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Perez, Fernando Alonso, Esteban Ocon, and Mick Schumacher. Hamilton, they'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Gasly, Sainz, and Guan Yu Zhou. Albon, Norris, Lance Stroll and Latifi, Russell, Ricciardo, Valtteri Bottas and Martinez, Magnussen, they've taken a grid penalty, and Yuki Tsunoda. Now, it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track. Anthony Davidson joins me once again in the commentary box, and it's fantastic to have you here with us today. But I'm curious, as a man with experience out on the track, how do you stop those pre-race nerves from becoming overwhelming when you're lining up on the grid?
Well, I imagine they'll be starting to feel the adrenaline as they anticipate the run down into turn one, a bit like preparing to go into battle. The unknown situation will bring nerves, but that's a good thing. It will keep them focused on the moment and on their surroundings as we build towards the start of the Grand Prix.
Here we go then, time for another race and another recovery drive. P18, I'm hopeful. I think we can achieve points. I'm not going to, stress all the scenarios. It's a long race, 36 laps, possible 1, 2, 3 stop. Depends, on tyre compounds, but 2 is quite likely around here. I'm going to try and go for the 1, which should hopefully do the job. I'm going to go for 0.5 on the fuel, and I think we've got a decent race car. It's going to be key to get a half decent start and have a strong first lap. Hopefully maybe break into the top 15, top 14, and hopefully we can slowly cook away and make some progress. But yeah guys, we're going to jump into it, and hopefully we can turn this one around. Leave a like if you're going to enjoy, and also down below leave a prediction in terms of when we're going to finish. So let's get to it. Here we go. Lights are on. Let's try and have a good first lap. Not a bad start, to be fair. Second phase, not so great. Had a bit of wheel spin in second. AI draining all their batteries. We'll try and maybe use more of ours on the next straight. I want to try and pick up the outside line here, which will give us the inside into 2. And then we get the outside again. Got to be careful of the AI. Got to leave space. We're now going to head into the tight, twisty section. I'll have a timid look up the inside, although, my god, Yuki, man. I'm not having that. You can suck on this one, mate. I don't give a crap. And you can get squeezed as well for good measure. That's what you get for doing what you just done. Having none of that. Let's see if we can keep on pushing here and try to make up some progress. It's not been the first lap that I hoped for. But it's not over yet. Might get a chance into the baseball stadium, to be fair. Let's see. Lots of action, and we've not a crash, a bit of something going on. We'll have a little stab up the inside though of Ricciardo into the hairpin. And I'm going to see if I can try and hold that down, which we do. And we get on the inside of Bottas, and now we can have a look at Magnussen. So it ends up being a half decent first lap as we now get the run on the Haas. Getting the horses out as we race down to turn 1. Yellow flag, can't overtake.
Someone's come off ahead of you. There's a yellow flag ahead.
Oh my god. We have a car park. Alonso off track.
Okay, slow down, slow down. Your delta's negative, which means you're going too fast. Reduce your pace.
Damn, you're telling me I actually can't get Alonso. And we've lost the place to Bottas. This game is something else. Wow. How does Magnussen get a free pass to go through there and I have to let Alonso back through? Huh? Unbelievable.
Okay, VSC ending. We're going green. Maintain positive delta until the green flags.
There was a few moments when that entire thing kicked off, and
DRS will be enabled this lap. You can use it when you're within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone.
Verstappen was one of the cars in the pit lane as we now get into this drag race. Bottas, Magnussen, and then me and Tsunoda. There's no way in hell I'm going to let Tsunoda get by. And Magnussen does have a time penalty, so there we go. Justice. Finally, the AI actually get punished for some of their driving. Here we go then, we're getting the run on Bottas. I'm going to go to the outside and box him in, which gives us the invitation as Russell also has a time penalty. I'm going to get this, I'm going to give K-Mag the squeeze, and now we're P14. Finally, man, that's what I'm talking about. Right, AI going very slowly here. Wouldn't be surprised if someone's got wing damage. If not, it's Albon and Norris going side by side, which is causing this, and Latifi in behind. It's going to keep kicking off here as DRS now enabled. Magnussen closing in, I'll defend the inside. Running out of battery, man. The AI have so much straight line speed around here. We'll fight it on the brakes as both Lando and Albon run wide. End plates everywhere across the track. Oh boy, the AI having an absolute field day today. Lando hasn't got DRS, so we're going to try and use that to fight through. We almost run to the back of Russell. I'm just having to basically play by the AI's rules right now as we're all trying to find space on track. Albon gets in front of us in that sequence.
No tyre concerns at the moment, just focus on the driving.
Somehow, I've not got damage, and also, after that Stroll, ahead is up to P9. So we could get 2 cars in the points here at this rate. Let's see, of course, Russell's got that penalty, so we're technically P12. If we can be close enough, and he's now going for the move on Latifi. It's all kicking off at this race. You cannot take your eyes off it. I'm going to have a look around the outside of Albon here. Oh, not quite able to get through. It's going to kick off here again, though. Latifi actually pits, so damage. Stroll as well.
Lance is in for a stop.
That's unfortunate, so Lance in the points, damage, unfortunately, basically moves him out. And look at this, man. AI is still going for it. Russell, no DRS, defenseless. I'm just trying to be a little bit careful now because I don't want to get damage in this situation because we're looking pretty decent. Haven't got, you know, a penalty to our name, haven't got damage. So I just want to try and keep it clean. Albon Magnussen still going at it, and they're going to keep going at it into this next brake zone. I want to try and see if I can get the cut back here. Give me that, give me that. Thank you. Right then, into the points. It only took me 5 laps to go from P18 to P5. Yellow flag at turn 1, but I think it's a mistake. Car seems to have got going again. Let's try and stay with Magnussen for a bit and chill in the DRS. Nope, Lando's out. So, one less car to worry about. I've just had a look at the minimap. I can't believe my eyes. Mick Schumacher is leading this race. What? That can't run. That could be critical in the Constructors' Championship. Obviously, I'm not going to challenge for a win. All I can do is just try and get as many points as I can, but hopefully some of the faster cars can knock him off P1. He looks P1 comfortably, by the way. He's got a gap. He's actually broken the DRS. Here comes Russell. Challenging. We'll just place our car defensively, and that will do just fine. Magnussen's a good car to follow right now. Also, we're catching up to the next 3 cars ahead. So this is going to now become, hopefully, very shortly, a battle for a couple more points. Russell right there. Having to use a big chunk of battery just to kind of keep him at bay. He's a lot quicker. But right now I'm able to keep him just behind. That Merc straight line speed looks pretty decent though. Or ours is really poor, I can't quite tell. But we're catching now. We're pretty much a lap away from being in this train of cars ahead and making it a bit more of a multi-car train. Here we go then. This is now a battle for P6 as Magnussen has managed to drag us along. So let's see how the cards fall throughout the rest of the race. This train being pulled by Lewis Hamilton. Also Schumacher no longer in the race, lead down to P3 last time I checked. Oh, almost lost an end plate there. That was close. Russell's going to pass me at some point, it's just inevitable. But obviously the penalty will push him back 5 seconds, so the longer we can keep him behind, the better. Especially if we arrive at the pit stop phase, because then he'll just drop back 5 seconds and we can actually, again, try and keep him behind us. Same for Magnussen, we should hopefully jump in at the pit stop phase. So we're looking at P9 right now. I might try and go for a move here. I get past 1 or 2 cars and just get out of Russell's pressure. Have that. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Excellent overtake. Almost drifting it around the outside there. Caught Magnussen napping. Let's see if we can get another one. I'd love to get behind Lewis and get Zhou and Gasly. That would be the ideal scenario here. Oh, Zhou has a poor exit. That's going to really help us out. Let's go. Around the outside. Please don't lock up. Please don't lock up. We'll take that. Nice. Let's try and get Pierre now. If you know the championship implications, you know that Gasly is one of our rivals, AlphaTauri and Haas. I'm going to try it. Oh, yes. Whew. Have that. Get in there. And he pits as well. Right, let's try and push for one lap. Let's see if we can stay ahead of Pierre. Schumacher still up in P3. Unbelievable. Schumacher's the big concern. I mean, the 2 Haas cars and also Gasly doing pretty well. That's not ideal, but we'll try and push here now. We'll take a warning, don't really care. Really good in lap. A couple of personal best sectors. Let's bring her in and let's see if we've done enough to stay ahead of Gasly. That's a bit of a mistake though, but we've still managed to drop Zhou out of the RS range. Very good entry. Right. Onto the hard tyre. Let's get straight back to it. Need a quick stop here. Lovely, 2.4, excellent. Let's see then, where is the rest of the pack? Russell is leading the convoy. This should be interesting.
Look after these tyres now. We want to finish the race on this compound.
It's going to be close. Okay, never mind. Hamilton leading the convoy, my bad. But we're on cold tyres, so we've actually got the overcut to work, but Lewis on nice warm tyres. Gasly tucked in behind nicely. I don't mind following Lewis here, to be fair. I think he'd be a decent car to follow, so we'll let him take the lead on this one. And we'll see if we can drag us back to the leading group. The Merc, of course, now the fastest car, so I'm hoping it kind of performs as such. Alonso in the pit lane. Right, we've got Pierre just behind. I'm going to have to use a bit of battery. The AlphaTauri is pretty slippery on the straight. I think Lewis might have slight damage. I'll keep an eye on the gap to Schumacher. But I wonder if Lewis has a slight bit of wing damage because he's not that quick in the corners, but he's still obviously pretty decent on traction, braking, and also just general straight line performance. Lewis has got damage. I'm convinced I'm going to try and go for the move. Got a decent bit of battery. It's not just going to be an overtake though. I've got to try and pass and drop him. So, have to be efficient here. Closing in. Up the inside. And we get the DRS for the next straight. Now we've got to try and pull away before we get to the next DRS zone. To be fair, we've done a good job already. And there we go, Gasly got ahead as well. Let's see if we've got the pace to try and pull away. There we go, nice gap. 1.8 to Pierre. 17.8. Gotta say, that's not bad. Also, Schumacher has now dropped out of DRS range of Sainz. So, now this could be interesting. 15 laps to go. Gap is 12 seconds. Do we have the pace to try and reel in Mick Schumacher? It's not going to be easy. Let's see what the pace looks like in a couple of laps. I'm driving so much on the limit. Literally flat out right now. Gap down to 10.2. Making good progress. I just don't know if we're going to have enough pace to really get close enough. Second warning. On the limit now. So be careful.
Caution, caution.
Oh wow. I think Arcon's engine's given up. This could be a late twist in the tower. Could this be a late safety car? I'll take a virtual to be fair.
Information on Ocon. They're retiring from the race. race.
Hard break for Alpine. He was leading the race at one point. He led for a few laps. That's going to hurt. So that's P5 now. We're looking at P4. We can get Schumacher. I'm going right on the limit. I'm really pushing these track limits. I'm giving it everything I've got, man. Oh, my ERS is going to fly. No. ERS failure at the crucial time. I thought I might have just had a chance to catch. But look at this, I'm bleeding time on the straight. Now we've got it back, but that might just cost us. The margins are that tight. I'm going to have to get my focus back on. Can't give up now. Oh God, that was close. We're just running out of laps. Gap is 4 seconds. I want to quickly just show you that stint because I'm sweating my balls off. That was some of the best laps I've ever done in any career mode. Look at those lap times. From really, there was a bit of a one-off on, I'd say, lap 23. But from lap 21, where I'd done an 18.4, if you exclude the lap before, which was a DRS overtake lap, lap 21, 18.4, 3, 5, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 2, 1, 3, 0, 17.9 and 18.0. Basically just setting qualifying laps every single lap. I'm on the limit and I'm just going to fall short. Let the record show we've got the gap down to as much as 3.3. As now Mick will probably deploy engine mode and just drive off. As you can tell already by looking at the delta, he's just using the battery. So, oh man, maybe 3 more laps and I could have had it. Here we go then, last sector of the race. Checo wins his home Grand Prix here in Mexico, and we're going to finish P5. Wow, what a shift from P18 to P5 after qualifying. I will happily take that. Shame we couldn't get P4, but you know what? I'm happy with that.
And that's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Fermé.
So another fantastic victory for Red Bull today. Talk to me, Ant. What was it that set them apart from the competition today?
I think it was clear what the main contributing factor out on track was: speed. I know it sounds like an awfully reductive statement, but fast cars win races.
Red Bull are our winners today after showcasing some incredible driving. It's been a huge push from them lately to stay competitive with the other teams, and they're certainly proving themselves.
Now the race has finished and we have bad news. Both Haas cars finished in the points, with Schumacher of course P4 and Magnussen finished P9 in the end. So that's bad news. That is a 14-point haul and a 4-point difference compared to our points haul. Also not ideal, Pierre Gasly scored pretty big points at P6 with 8 points to his name. Also Zhou Guanyu scored points in P7. So yeah, you can tell the midfield battle's getting hot, man, because we're all scoring points and we're all performing. I will say one thing, if you look at the fastest laps, we definitely performed and we belonged today's race. You know, much quicker than Schumacher, just that Mick was in that DRS train with the leaders for so long and basically built a gap. But we had pace to challenge the top 3 and possibly maybe even win this race in a different alternate universe had we had a better qualifying. Who knows? Anyway, there's your final top 10. Hamilton holds on for a point with that damage. And further down, Stroll P17, Russell fastest lap, and then a couple of retirements. Let's look at the standings though. Drivers' Championship, Sainz up front, Perez 6 behind, and Leclerc 9 behind. Verstappen still in the mix, as is Russell. Hamilton pretty much out of it now, but with 2 races remaining, it's a 5-way fight for the title. We're P11 and we're ahead of Gasly, Magnussen and Schumacher. We're looking pretty comfortable now with 2 races left. However, all of our near rivals scoring points here today. In the Constructors though, we're still ahead. We've done just enough to keep ourselves ahead, but Haas are breathing down our neck. AlphaTauri also 5 points behind, and like I said, even Alfa Romeo scored points today, so it's getting red hot. I don't think Alfa Romeo and Williams are in the fight, we're in contention, but Aston Martin, Haas, AlphaTauri, we're all mixing it up to try and get that 6th spot, and it's going to go right down to the last race. So we cannot let our foot off the gas. We have to perform every single race. Stroll is not giving me any help, so yeah. Anyway, guys, hopefully you enjoyed that race. I really loved that one. That was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed driving those qualifying laps. If you did, subscribe for more. It really helps me out on the channel, guys, and we've got lots of crew mode content coming very soon, so stay tuned. As always, a big shout out to the channel members for supporting the channel as always. Finally, check out the 2 videos on screen if you haven't seen them already. And yeah, guys, cheers for watching, and I'll see all of you in the next one.